Hello, we are talking about reconciling, and this is one of my favorite topics because it's such an important process for business owners to do. And reconciling is just the process of comparing the transactions that happened in your books in QuickBooks to the transactions that are in your bank account or on your bank statement. So it's a very important process because it catches a lot of errors. Many tax accountants will require that you do this process before you turn your books over to them. And I just can't stress enough that it's a really important thing for you to do monthly. You want to be reconciling every single account that's connected here, checking, savings, credit cards, PayPal. You want to reconcile them because you're just making sure that any of the data that actually happened in your account, in your bank account or credit card account, made its way into QuickBooks and is properly categorized. So very, very important that you reconcile. I will stop talking about this, but I'd want to give you a couple steps that you need to do before you start the reconciliation process. And basically, you just want to make sure that all of your transactions here are added into QuickBooks. So you don't want to start reconciling until you've added your transactions within the bank feed, because otherwise the reconciliation just won't work. You also want to make sure that your bank balances are starting out from the right place. So if you go into your bank register and you scroll over to, you can click on last and see the very first transaction, you just want to make sure that you were starting from the right place. So if it's a new account as of this date, it should be a zero balance. But just kind of take a peek to make sure this looks like you're starting from the correct balance on that date. You can even pull up your statement and just double check that that's the right balance. But you can't start reconciling properly until your opening balance is correct. So pretty easy. Just make sure all your transactions are categorized and your opening balance is correct. And then you can just go over to the gear icon here and over to reconcile. You may have to click get started or let's do it. And this is your reconciliation screen. So we'll go over the details of this in the next module, but this is where you're going to get started with the reconciliation process. And just remember that reconciling is the double check between what happened in QuickBooks versus what happened in your bank account, and you will do it monthly. You may have to catch up a little bit on your reconciling. If you haven't been reconciling, you'd have to start from the first month that you open that account or connected that account, and then you'll reconcile each month going forward. So that's why it's very good to stay on top of reconciling. You want to just do it month by month, and then you won't have to go back and do a ton of months at once. So more on reconciling to come.